Good evening. We're here at Keep It 100 podcast on a beautiful Sunday evening. I have the talented, actually super talented musician. What more can I say? Singer, songwriter, you name it, he does it. Okay, we're going to be sitting today with my man, better known as Jon Thor of BlueBoyRecords. You just had an album come out not too long ago. Let's get Jon Thor into the show right now. Hold on one second. And we'll go ahead and get started, guys. This should be a great show. We'll get some lyrics in. Well, good evening.
Good evening, JR. How are you doing?
Pleasure to see you again.
Yeah, likewise. I'm representing tonight.
I noticed that. Look, you got the shirt on. Oh no! Yes, yeah. You got the gear on.
Yeah,
I love that logo.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Thank you very much for sending that to me. Actually, Terrell sent it to me.
Oh yeah. You know, we got some new gear coming in on Wednesday.
I saw that. I saw the pictures. It looks cool.
Yeah, really cool. We'll have to get all that sorted out. As soon as it gets here, we'll let you guys know. Hey, let's get into it. You know, it's been a while. This is part 3. This is a very special podcast for you. Also, you mentioned that you wanted to talk about some songs. I'm going to let you announce your who you are and what you do to our audience right now.
Yes, my name is Jon Thor Karlsson. I'm from Keflavik, Iceland originally, like we've talked about before. I've been in the States 30 years, and about 20 years ago, I started singing and stuff like that. And then about 2006-07 timeframe, I started writing music and stuff like that. We recorded our album in Royal Studios with Carl Blue Wise at BlueBoyRecords. My record's called, it's named Call Me. And it's available on all the major outlets. My website is Jon Thor Music /music at .com. And you have it on Spotify, Amazon, all of the outlets have it. And then my wife, Tanya, also made an album at the same time. It's called Find a Place. Beautiful album, and highly recommend it. It's on all the major record
platforms?
Yeah, platforms for digital, yeah. And you can also order the album itself, or if you want the hard copy, we got hard copies. They're actually beautiful.
Oh, nice. That looks nice.
And, you know, you got all the liner notes and everything in here, and who played on it, who sang on it, who produced it. Same thing with mine, you know. So, yeah, they're nice. They're nice albums, you know. They're properly made albums, you know. So
right.
Good string and horn arrangements, you know. We have Lester Snell on there and Carl Blue Wise and some of the greatest guys in Memphis, you know. So it's awesome.
Hey, you know, Jon, I was going to talk about, you know, I seen just the other day, I was scrolling through Facebook.
Right.
I noticed that you were doing to the Soul Ladies, you were doing something with little Smokey tune.
Yeah, I picked up the guitar again. I hadn't touched it for quite a while because things have been very hectic.
Oh yes.
So while I was on the road this last time, I was in Bologna, Italy, and I went to this little this little music store, and I bought this little mini guitar, you know. So I started plunking around again, and so I've been practicing up one of my songs and about 2 or 3 other songs. I just take one song at a time to get back into the groove and sort of getting back into it a little bit, and hoping to be able to play my whole album acoustically, you know.
Right.
It just takes practice to get back into this game, you know.
Hey, you know, I figure I was told by a very, very bright friend of mine that in about 2 months, everything should be back to not a normal. We'll never be at normal again.
Right.
But a lot of things are opening up. I'm hoping that we can actually see some people in concert and things of that sort. We're also planning to do a festival coming up not too long from now in December. That's something that's in the works right now. So I can't say much about it, but it's gonna be awesome. You know, so let's cross our fingers and hope that everything's gonna be fine. But let's get into you right now. So what have you been doing in the last month or so? Other than being a pilot.
yeah, that's pretty much it. I just got home about a week ago, and I had two big long outings this last two times, and then I was home during that COVID for like 3 extra weeks, and then I went out and stayed out a long time. So it's just been kind of a weird time, you know, for everybody, I think, you know.
Right.
So we've been sitting at home, and Tanya and I go out to the studio and play. We wrote a couple of, well, she's a songwriting machine, so I mean, she writes all the time, and I got 2 new ones, and we put the words and stuff together the other night on that one.
Okay.
And so we've been doing a few things, kind of like, it's kind of unlike me in a way, because I'm sort of writing about the times rather than, you know, sentimental or love songs, if you will. So it's kind of, but you know, you can read anything into any song, if you will. You know. It's not in your face, but it's got some undertones of the times, if you will.
Okay. Yeah. I'm looking forward for things to get a little bit better, where more things open up, because I want to get down and see you guys actually perform somewhere, because I think the world right now is missing that, you know.
Yeah.
Where you actually go into a place. I have a friend right now in the Netherlands who is actually performing in some of the clubs out there, and he's just doing his own thing. And been pretty big. So what I'm really trying to do, and Terrell, what we're really trying to do, is actually give you guys a voice and actually let people hear you guys by having this show. And I think a lot of people are missing out on some really good music because of what's going on right now.
Yeah, I think you're right. I mean, and Tanya's really busy on this. She watches a lot of live acts that do it, you know, from their living room. And I've been here and there when I have time. I watch, you know, like Howard Hewitt, he does a thing at home, and I watch a few things, you know, whenever I have time, whenever I kind of see it. There's a lot of cool stuff going on. People are doing, you know, acoustic music out of their living rooms, you know. And,
yes.
You
know, I noticed that too. I think it's pulling everyone out of their shell, and they're like, you know what, let's try some different things. Like I said before in a post, I said, you know, now is the time to actually the fans that are watching, they want to see as much as you can put out there, you know. They want to see different things that are available in your different ranges. You were mentioning that you wanted to talk about some songs.
I mean, you know, I mean, the album has done, you know, really well with the, you know, with the little promoting and advertising that I have done. It's done well with the ones that have received it or have listened to it or whatever. I just kind of felt like there's 2 songs that are the least listened to, I think, and I think, except I put it on the, I gave some of my friends at Soul Radio, Coast to Coast, I gave them this song, and they actually picked up on the song that my father wrote as a really beautiful song, and it has picked up a lot of plays since then. But yeah, I wanted to talk about those 2 songs that sort of came from Iceland, you know, the ones that are sort of sentimental and sort of from my youth, if you will.
Okay.
My father wrote a song when I was a young man. I think I told you before about it. Back in the 60s, called "Because of You," and I think we really did a fantastic job on it, you know, with all the arrangements, because Lester Snell heard it one time and he just completely had it. He just he had my father so down that I was like flabbergasted, and I think the song is very beautifully produced. It's one of the last songs on the album. Yeah, it's the last song on the album, number 10. Okay. And it's named "Because of You," and it's really good. It's really heartfelt, and I think we nailed it. And when Carol and Coleman Grady over there at
we froze for just a second. We should have coming right back. Yeah. Oh, we froze for just a second.
I dropped out.
Okay.
Yeah. When Carolyn Coleman Grady heard it, she sent me, "Wow, this is an awesome song." She reposted it, and I always thought it was a special one. Then my father, back in the 60s, used to have a friend, and he actually passed away when I was like 6 or 7 years old, sort of tragically, actually. And he had a younger brother named Johan G. Johansson. And Johan later became one of the more prolific songwriters of Iceland, and he wrote a really big song named "Don't Try to Fool Me," and I got it on this album. His older brother and my father were really good friends. They were like sitting in the living room. I remember them sitting in the living room with 2 acoustic guitars and a reel-to-reel tape deck, and they were harmonizing and playing guitars and singing and writing songs, you know, when I'm a very little boy. And later I wanted to do the song, so I had a meeting with Johan, and he sat me down and said, "Hey, your father used to send me reel-to-reel tapes when I was in college, and he would give me pointers on songwriting. They would send them back in the mail, you know, long distance." Wow. And basically write songs together via mail. His brother, my dad, and they would send it to him. And later he became one of the bigger songwriters of Iceland. Wow. Really, really nice person. Really, really became a very good friend of mine, actually. And so I went to his studio. He was also an artist, you know, visual artist. He painted also. So I went to his studio to talk to him, and he pulled out an old tape with my father and his brother playing music and singing harmonies. It was just absolutely beautiful. And he said, "Yeah, I'm honored for you to do my song." And then he became sick with cancer, and we recorded the song in Memphis. He was really excited about having a Memphis version of the song. Okay. So we recorded the song in Memphis, just the 4 tracks, you know, the piano, guitar, bass, and drums. And like a week later, he passed away, so he never got to hear it. Well, I know he hears it now, you know, but yes. I'm very proud of that one too. You know, it's
awesome, man.
So those are some of the stories, but all of my songs, they're just kind of something I wrote. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, those are kind of special to me. Wow. Those 2.
Yeah, and I was thinking to myself, you know, it being such a beautiful Sunday, and we got a chance to hear you sing a little bit before, and I kind of sprung it up there on you before. So for our audience, is there anything that you want to put out there now?
We can make a stab at it, you know.
Oh yeah, let's do it. Let's do it.
You know, I could try that. This is Tanya's guitar. This is a little Ivan.
Well, you know, I always found the best music comes when you're in a jam session, or you just come up and you just start putting it out there, you know?
Yeah. You know, I might make some mistakes, so just guys bear with me. Okay. This is a song I wrote, actually. And this is actually because I've been hearing a lot, and I've been around people a long time all over the world, and there's certain guys that are scared of strong women, you know.
Oh, yeah.
You know, my mom was very strong. My grandmothers were very strong, but my mom is in the middle of that movement in Iceland, you know, back in the 70s, you know, about women's right, you know, movement, you know, and that generation was really strong into that, you know. So I grew up with very strong women, and I actually married a very strong woman, and that's pretty much what the song's about. And, you know, because when guys, you know, we do stupid stuff. I mean, you know, all you got to do is watch YouTube videos to see that guys do very, very stupid things, you know.
Hey, you always amaze me anyway, you and Tanya.
So the song is actually on my album, and second song. It's called "Girl, I Know It's Crazy."
Okay.
And let's make a stab at it. Girl, I know it's crazy, the things that we've been through. Oh, I know it's crazy, all the things I put on you. Like a cliff in the sea, always there for me. Like a cliff in the sea, always there for me. I can be a dreamer, acting like a child sometimes. You stand behind me when I'm being.
Oh, it's all good. Keep going.
Immature at times, like a cliff in the sea, always there for me, like a cliff in the sea, always there for me. Girl, I know it's crazy, I pray you never go, never far by my side, like a cliff in the sea. Do 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 do, like a cliff in the sea, always there for me, like a cliff in the sea, always there for me, always there for me.
Nice.
Shorten it up a little bit.
I like it. I like it. I, I I always believe the best music comes when you just, all of a sudden put it out there, So, and that's where the magic happens. You like when you're in the studio and you're trying to figure it out, and
Right.
all of a sudden you just start to feel it. I
Yeah.
think that I don't know if you feel the same way or not, but I've been in the studio a few times with friends as they're putting together some music and things of that sort, and also with some friends that make beats and things of that nature. And I'll tell you, I think that's what's missing right now. People being in a real studio where you actually gel together and you vibe together, and I think that's where the real magic happens. In those
Yeah.
studios where you're
Yeah.
locked up for like 3 days.
Yeah. It's a lot of fun, and I used to run around with a band and when we just got together at my house and just kind of plunked around and played around, we always came up with something good.
Yeah.
And um, it's amazing what happens when you jam with people. And I mean, it happens with me and Tanya, it happens to Carl and I, and it's just cool.
Yeah, there's nothing like that. I've been meeting a lot of people since we put this show together, because a lot of the people that we've had on the show, between Terrell and I, we have a lot of friends that perform, including you guys too. But it's been interesting. We've been meeting more people who have such a great talent, and I think this time has just been given to us and everybody just to start creating more. Dig deep down inside and start creating something.
Yeah, I think you're right. I mean, even if it doesn't matter how talented you are or how talented you think you are or how much, if you love something, just do it, no
Right.
matter what the outcome, and I'm a firm believer in that.
Yeah, Terrell's working with an artist pretty soon called 805, and he's really really has a passion for rapping, and
Right.
I don't know how much he's put into it, but I noticed that it's something that he won't give up on it. So I think what happens for a lot of people is you find that passion in something, and whether you're really really good at it or you're kind of good at it, or if you're a natural, I think you should pursue it. More than anything.
Right.
You never know what happens at the end of it. At least you tried.
Yeah. Right. Right. I agree. I think everybody who has a passion for anything should pursue it, because that's what's going to make you happy.
Right.
And music is definitely one of those things that if it gets in you, or if it's in you, or if it's, I mean, I had no chance. It's, so much music in my family that I couldn't, same with Tanya. We both have a lot of musicians and singers in our family. And no matter what, even if you would never sung, it's in there,
Right.
It's everybody in my family is very passionate about music, especially on both sides, actually.
You know what's interesting? for me, I have to learn instruments because I can't sing. I have to learn the mixing and everything else that goes with it. And I
Right.
have a great ear, but I wished I could sing because I would be right there with you guys in a heartbeat. It's a
Yeah.
passion for me to hear music, to listen to it, to feel it, to watch it being put together from
Right.
the writing, from people writing down the notes to putting it all together. Where you're mixing it down and everything else.
Yeah.
Well, let me ask you a question. What's your favorite part about putting together an album?
That's a good question because I like the actual groundwork, the writing
Okay.
of the music and working with somebody else on, on maybe some arrangements or, working. But I also thought it was very, very, very cool to put the first four tracks together, just you and the musicians, just four
Okay.
tracks, and the recording engineer and the producer. That was amazing experience, and especially working with somebody at that talent level, that was amazing, and I think that was my favorite part of it. Um,
Okay.
and the second favorite part of it was it coming out, but yeah, I mean, it was like watching a baby grow because every time I was present when we did all the four tracks. I sang, like a dummy track,
Okay.
and then I came back and we cleaned up the vocals. I recorded some additional vocals on everything, and then Carl brought in the backup singers to do backup vocals, and I was not present for that. And then Carl and Lester did some of the overdubs, like strings and horn arrangements, and we had a really good saxophone player come in and play on It Makes Me Want to Cry. He's an amazing guy. He used to play with like Jerry Lee Lewis, Ray Charles, people like that. They're really
Wow.
amazing, really amazing player,
Wow.
Um, and
Those are those are legendary people.
yeah, his name is Jim Spake. If I hope I'm not doing this wrong, but I'm gonna just look at it because I'm pretty sure that's right. Yeah, Jim Spake. I just, I don't want to say the wrong names for people, especially somebody like that. So that's beautiful. I mean, the saxophone in that song is absolutely amazing.
Are there any other instruments that you would like to learn how to play?
Yeah, in the studio, I plunk around on a keyboard just for chords and stuff like that. Tanya's actually becoming pretty good with the piano, and
Oh, is she?
yeah, she's been working on it pretty hard. And I like to do chord progressions and stuff like that more so
Okay.
than necessarily. Yeah, piano is really cool. I'm trying to mess with it. Yeah.
I was going to learn years ago, and I kept trying to force myself out there and trying to find the time. And finally, I got a little time to try and learn. And I got this. I remember getting this keyboard, and for a night on end, I would play it and play and play it. I'd come home after I worked evenings, so I got home later. And I just remember, I'd be up all night, and it took me forever to finally get the notes. But it's
Yeah,
like anything else, you really need to learn, by just playing.
right. And and there's a lot of cool stuff out there now. I have a program. It's Quincy Jones sponsors it. It's called Sessions or something like that, and it takes you to songs, and it teaches you a lot of stuff, and it's very interactive type of program. And there's many of those kind of programs out there. Um, Playground Sessions, it's called. It's cool, and then you learn a lot from these YouTube videos. There's several of them that make sense. I've learned a lot rhythming and stuff like that because I could play some chords, but I felt like I was always off until I
Okay.
started watching these guys, and they kind of make sense out of it,
Right. Okay.
Because I have friends that can play amazing pianos, but you know how they are. It's like oh, it's just this and that.
Oh,
Oh, okay, yeah, right.
I'll tell you, man. When I was living in Vegas, I just remember I had a lot of friends that performed,
Right.
and they used to do all the dinner shows and all that kind of stuff. And I was like, I would hang out with them at the house, and all of a sudden they just start jamming. There was nothing better than that, where you're sitting back, and all of a sudden we make one phone call, call a friend over, and you got a guitar guy coming over. Next thing you know, you got a keyboard guy coming over. Then you got, my buddy already had a piano in there, and they would just, next thing you know, we had everything from violins to harps, you name it, and they just would jam,
Right.
all night, So thank God we had those kind of hours where we could actually stay up late and just go crazy.
Oh yeah, we did a lot of late nights out here too, back in the
Yeah.
day, and we have a rehearsal out here and have a bunch of musicians come over, and it was nothing to stay in there till 3-4 o'clock in the morning,
Oh, yeah.
because time just like goes like this. You don't even realize it. Next thing you know, it's 2, 3. You're like, oh my goodness,
Oh yeah.
So
yeah. Guaranteed. I was asking Tanya not too long ago about people in the family because usually when there's somebody that's talented, it usually runs down the family. Any younger people, grandchildren, or kids that are into music?
Yeah, my daughter is a really good singer.
Okay.
She's very much like Tanya, but she's just from when she was just a little girl with my dad. They would sing all the songs. She was in Iceland and didn't speak a lot of Icelandic, but she could sing the Icelandic songs better than the Icelandic
Oh, really?
kids. She knew them all, and she could sing, and she has a really good pitch. Then Tanya has some nephews that are really talented, good singers. Two of them, two really good singers. Some rappers, obviously. And then her nieces, a couple of her nieces are really good harmony singers. Yeah, so yeah, there's a lot of it,
Okay.
Her uncle was great. He was a blues man from a natural blues guy, self-taught, unbelievable singer, could pick, the guitar, and it's all self. He didn't know what notes he was playing, but he was playing them, and they were really, really, really cool,
I think that's what's going to happen to me. So, someday soon, I'm going to buy all these instruments, and I'm just going to, in my off time, which I seem to have a lot of it, I'm going to just play, just play around with it,
Why not? That's the
keep
fun.
going at it.
That's the fun part.
What? There's a song I heard you play the other day, and I'm going to ask you to see what you can do about putting that one back down. But you were playing a little Smokey the other day. And
yeah, I was messing around with that one.
You were killing it, man. It was all I could think of is if I was dating or if I was in any kind of serious relationship, that's the kind of music I want to hear if I was with my girl,
Yeah, those are the classics. I mean, Marvin and Smokey and Stevie and Luther Vandross and Teddy Pendergrass. I mean, that was Al Green. I mean, that's the stuff, man. As far as I'm concerned,
that's the good stuff.
Yeah, and there's so much of it.
You get the sun down. All right, just want to make sure I had too much sun coming in on us.
Oh, yeah, I have kind of a weird lighting going on too. I think what happens to my iPad, it's got one of those timing things, so it shuts down. That's why when I was playing the music, it turned off.
Oh, okay.
So that's why I'm touching the screen, making sure we don't fade off,
Okay.
But yeah, I grew up on that sound, I grew up on the soul sound, and obviously my dad was into the Beatles and Simon and Garfunkel and all that. My mom was big Elton John and Neil Diamond,
really?
And then my father had all the other stuff too, Sam Cooke and Jackie Wilson, Stevie Wonder, Ray Charles, So that's kind of all that good stuff was played at my house,
Oh yeah, my parents had everything going, man. They had a lot of Stevie, Smokey, they you name it, they had it going.
Yeah.
Actually, we had a lot of my mother. Some of her favorites were like Shaka Khan, Roberta Flack, and it was interesting
my favorite
because yeah, it was as I was coming up, and not until later on did I really. I think I was about in my 20s. I start really getting deep into jazz.
I love jazz.
Yeah, and it was amazing because I would spend a lot of time at the jazz clubs up through like Hollywood and areas like that. in Melrose, they have a few really cool clubs here in California.
Oh, sure, yeah. I used to go to jazz concerts out in California, you know, back in the 90s. I was flying out of there a lot, you know, out of Cali. So I went to a lot of jazz and smooth jazz concerts, you know, in the area. It's amazing. I love jazz.
Yeah, it's one of my favorites.
Yeah, it's mine
Yeah.
too, actually. So I listen to that a lot as well, both classic jazz and the newer stuff, you know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I miss right now is that there's not that many and before pandemic and all that. I remember going up to Vegas and going to those dinner shows, and I would sit back, gamble a little bit, and I'd drive up by myself, and, and I would actually stay up there for like 2 or 3 days and just go to all the different dinner shows, kick back, get to know the artists. I think that's
Right.
where I got to have so many friends because I would actually talk to the artists, and we end up knowing a friend of a friend of a friend or something of that sort.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was blessed enough to meet Al Jarreau.
Yes.
And Al was more interested in me than I was in him. It was amazing. He was such a great spirit, you know.
Right.
And he was just so much fun, you know. And we went to a African American art festival in Eatonville, Florida, which is like one of the oldest Black communities in Florida, or even in the country, maybe even.
Wow.
They had a huge art festival, different artists, different people, and we paid $5 to get in and got to see Al Jarreau just like a couple of feet away from him on the stage.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, it was awesome, you know. And I had seen him
Wow.
twice before. I saw him a total of maybe 4 or 5 times. And but this time he was selling a new album he had out, and he would autograph it if you bought it from him for $15 or something. And it was amazing. There weren't that many people in line, and I spent like 9 or 10 minutes talking to him, and Tanya was there with me too. And he was just such a amazing spirit, just a great guy, and he was like more interested in you than you were in him. It was crazy. It was just an amazing person.
The great ones are like that. I noticed that even when it comes to athletes, the great ones are more always the great people. I put it that way. They usually are more interested in how you're doing than what they're doing.
Right. He was that kind of person. Yeah. And yeah, I still have the big poster he autographed for me and everything. And that's a great memory because he was just such a great spirit. If he was just, okay, here's the autograph, go away, it wouldn't mean that much, but it meant so much because he was he gave so much of himself, you know. And
wow. Yeah.
I thought that was really cool.
I don't know if you ever got a chance to go to the Playboy Jazz Festival or not. But
no, I've never been to that one.
Talk about one of the greatest experience that you can actually go. I went a few times, and I tell you, man, some of the talent that was there, and being able to, I've always been a person that can always get backstage. Thank God for my friends.
Okay.
And there's a whole difference when you're going to a concert and then you're going backstage and you're meeting the performers and you're actually, they let the hair down. They're
right.
There's no better feeling than that. And I'm very grateful for that. I'm not bragging about it. I'm just very grateful that these things have happened. And,
right.
It just lets me know what we're doing right now with having a show like this where we're bringing in talent, whether it be actors or actresses or musicians and music, DJ, whatever it is. It just lets me know that we're on the right path.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I think so. Yeah. I've met quite a few people, in what I do, obviously, and some of them are very, very fascinating, and obviously some are not. But maybe it's because I'm more into that type of music. I meet a lot of DJs, and most of them are really cool. Most of them are really down to earth, and so that's kind of cool.
Hey, I was thinking, because I was just telling someone the story about you being a pilot and a jet pilot and being and you actually, and they laughed at me at first until I start talking more about the story. But can you elaborate on that story about black coffee?
Well, I don't know if I'm supposed to talk too much about that, but
No, I mean that's not say a lot, but can you just like you got a chance to meet him though, right?
yeah, yeah, yeah. He was on my flight because
Yes.
a person that I was flying for, he organized some DJs to do some entertaining for some other friend, and I
Right.
basically took him back home. He
Okay.
and another,
Yeah.
he and another friend, and they were real cool. They were real nice, real down to earth and
Let
easygoing.
me.
That's a few years ago, yeah, a couple of 3 years ago.
Well, the reason I didn't want you to talk too much about it, but not too many people realize because like Black Coffee is one of my favorite all-time DJs because of where he comes from and what he puts into it. And I've
Yeah,
watched him in interviews, and I met him. I met him down in Playa del Carmen, Mexico. I had a
yeah,
buddy of mine, Jeff Gold, open up for him. Actually, warm up and open up for him down in Playa. But not many people get a chance to meet people like that.
yeah.
And
He
just
was
as
real
we're
cool. Yeah,
yeah, like what we're just saying. When you meet those kind of people, they're not over the top or anything of the sort. They're just,
no,
they're all about you.
right. Yeah, he was real
Yeah,
cool and really easygoing and very, very courteous and kind of quiet, but nice and talked a little bit. But
yeah.
um, I didn't really know his music until afterwards. One of the guys I was working with said, "Hey, check him out. He's really smooth." And we listened to his music, and he is good. I really like. I mean,
And it's filling.
yeah, I really like him after I started listening to him. Because I hadn't heard him.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah, it
Yeah,
was
his music's all about. The funny thing about that music, also, a lot of people don't. Some people don't get it, and it's not a matter of hearing it. You feel it.
yeah,
Once you feel it, you can't get rid of that.
right.
It's a whole.
He's got a good feel. Really good
Yeah,
feel. Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
I think so.
Guaranteed.
Because some of the
Guaranteed.
DJ stuff I don't don't get into,
Yeah,
but he's really got a cool little spin on it.
yeah. You gotta find the right ones for you, guaranteed.
Oh,
Like
of
genres.
course. Every genre's got something for everybody. And
Right.
I'm a firm believer in that.
Yeah. Is there anything else that you want to play for us? I'm letting it be your show, man. It's your show.
You want me to do that old baby baby thing? We're gonna do a
Oh,
little Motown.
heck yeah, man! This Sunday, Sunday fun day.
All right, let's try to remember what I did on that here.
Okay, yeah. Hey, whatever you do, I know you're gonna make it sound good, bro.
I did you wrong. My heart went out to play. And in the game I lost you. What a price to pay. I'm crying. Ooh, baby, baby. Ooh, baby, baby. Mistakes, I know I made a few, but I'm only human. You make mistakes too. I'm crying. Ooh, baby, baby. Ooh, baby, baby. I'm just about at the end of my rope, and I won't stop trying. I can't give up hope, 'cause I feel someday you hold me near. Whisper, I still love you until the day is here. I'm crying. Ooh, baby, baby. Ooh, baby, baby. Ooh, 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 baby, baby, baby. Excuse me. Ooh, ooh,
Yeah.
yeah, I hit a
That's what
bad
we need on a
chord
Monday,
there, but that's
Sunday.
okay.
Hey, you still got it, man.
It's live. It's a live show for you, man.
Hey, do me a favor. Also announce where we can find your wife and your music again. We got some people joining in right now.
Yeah. It's jonthor-music.com. And Tanya's website, I don't remember off the top of my head, but she's on Tanya Karlsson on Facebook. She's on Spotify. She's on all the major outlets. And the name of the album is Find the Place. It's really, really good. It's a really, really good album. She wrote all the songs except Carl co-wrote a song called I Will Be There, and I wrote with her a song called Love Is Like. So all the rest of it's her stuff. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Big shout out to Carl Blue Weiss of BlueBoyRecords, Memphis, Tennessee.
Yep.
Amazing guy also. I know he couldn't be with us today. He had some other stuff to take care of, but he's definitely going to see the show later.
Okay, good deal. Yeah.
Yeah. He's been phenomenal, man. He's definitely followed us for a long time. You guys are all here for our start, and we're about to hit in September on the 9th. We'll hit our 5th month anniversary, and it's hard to believe. Cinco, here we are going into 5 months, and
yeah,
we've put it together. I want to thank everyone that has actually start following us on Keep It 100 Podcasts, YouTube, JR and Terrell YouTube channel. Also on Instagram. I want to thank you guys for the Facebook followers. Our numbers are growing and growing and growing. And again, we're only celebrating our 5th month in September, but we're going to keep this thing going strong, guaranteed. I want to also thank you and your wife mainly for being. I've watched you guys grow from like you and I. This is our 3rd interview. I remember the first interview, and then the second interview. I watched how much both of you guys have grown into who you are and who you're becoming, because I think we're always changing.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah.
Yeah. And then when I heard this, when I heard you singing Smokey, I was like, wait a minute. I was like, yeah, there we go. Because all I could think of is I thought about being, music takes you places. It'll either make you remember something or make you forget something.
Right.
And what it did, when I heard you actually singing that song, it took me back to a place when I was in Las Vegas and I was watching a dinner show and they were doing a cover of Smokey, and I was like, yeah, that's that sound, and it was one of the best times I was having in Vegas, which I have a good time all the time, but it's amazing how music does that.
Yeah. I was blessed enough to see Smokey live. He's a terrific performer too. I mean, yeah, I agree with you. This is that's what this kind of music does. Music does that in general.
Right. We need more of it.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. So are you and your wife working on anything else coming up?
No, we've been, kind of busy, with a lot of things, obviously. And yeah, she's working on quite a few songs. She's been working with Carl on some songs, I know, and she and I have written some songs together, and she's writing some songs. So I got about 3 that I'm working with right now.
Okay.
And we just did one the other night. I'm really excited about, it's going to be cool. It's going to be different from what I do normally, but it's going to be cool.
Okay, cool. Yeah. I think that's the best stuff, man, when you try something different, You never know what's going to work. And you never know. And I was telling a good friend of mine who is also, she was into music and everything else, and she was trying to find her way. And I told her, I was like, don't worry about trying to find your way, because what happens in entertainment, I don't care whether you're an athlete or you're a singer or whatever you are, your fans find you. You don't find your fans.
Right.
It just doesn't work that way. You don't know what they're going to like. And whatever they like, that's what you go with,
Yeah. I agree with you there. It's a lot of artists out there, a lot of music out there. So, if somebody finds you and finds you to sound good or appeal to them, that's wonderful. If nothing else, we still got to write that music. I mean, that's just the way it is.
Hey, or you're writing it for somebody else,
Right.
Because I know a lot of songwriters that make a lot of money because they're putting that music out there for people.
Yeah.
And someone's got to sing it. Sometimes you write music, and I've been told this, and maybe I'm going to ask you if you feel the same way. Sometimes you write something for yourself, and then after you write it and you put it together and kind of like play with it, you realize, you know what, somebody else would be better for this. Have you ever come across that?
Absolutely, yeah. And
Okay.
Oh yeah, and I would love for anybody to cover my songs. I mean, that'd be great.
Oh.
I'm not opposed to that at all. I think that's a great thing.
Okay.
Cover as much as you want. If somebody's interested.
Hey, I'm telling you, man. There's nothing like here talent. And as we continue with shows like this, I'm glad we had this chance to get this part 3 because it's been a while since we talked, and I know you have a very busy schedule. You have an odd schedule because I mean, being a jet pilot, and then you're going for a month at a time, and then back for
I wanted to do a show with you while I was overseas, but man, it's the time difference. It was just like I would have been trying to talk to you at 4 o'clock in the morning, and it just didn't work. I couldn't get it together, man.
Hey, that brings me back to that when we did the part 2, and I forgot where you were at. I think you were in Greece.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
You had just parked the plane.
Right.
And then you got to the hotel. You was like, JR, and you kind of looked at me. You had that look. You're like, it's about 4 or something. I just got.
Yeah, I remember that very well.
Oh yeah.
I was wiped out too. I was very tired that night.
Guaranteed.
But it was fun.
Hey, I just we're about to come to the end here, but I want to thank you, Jon Thor Karlsson, for coming in, having a part 3 with me, a very special Sunday Fun Day where we're talking about the old time music and also music that really means.
Okay.
Running on a blank there. I need to put a little charge there. But I want to thank you for coming in and having this part 3 with us. I'm sure we'll have a part 4, and you'll keep us updated, you and Tanya, on any new music that you guys put out there.
Okay. Will do.
All right. I also want to thank BlueBoyRecords, Carl Blue Weiss out of Memphis, Tennessee, for actually producing and helping these guys get their music out there. And I want to thank our fans for coming in and watching us. And we will see you, Mr. Karlsson, on the next show.
Okay, JR, tell Terrell I said hello and greetings to your whole family, your daughter, and everybody. And thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.
All right. Hey, and thank you for repping that gear. I like that gear.
Yeah, man. Got to represent.
There you go. There you go. We love it, man. Thank you again, man. And I'll talk to you soon.
Okay, JR. Thank you very much. Have a good night. Enjoy your Sunday.
You too. Okay.
Bye-bye.